Good morning. I'll call to order the March 10th, 2025 regular meeting of the Mobile County Commission. With us this morning to bring our invocation is Father Bora Korba from the historic Most Pure Heart of Mary Catholic Church. Please join us at the podium. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To you, the all loving, all knowing, all powerful creator of heaven and earth, the beginning and the end, we come first in thanksgiving for the gifts of life and for all other blessings, including the opportunities given to Commissioners Marcia Lockwood, Connie Hudson, Rhonda Duert, and all other men and women who legislate from this revered chamber for the opportunity to serve you and your people. You are the source of love, the source of light, the source of wisdom and good counsel. We pray, O Lord, that you unseal these fountains upon this chamber so that the men and women who legislate here may tap from the abundance of your wisdom and led in the light of your truth may have good counsel and enact laws and policies for the well-being and the benefit of your people and the progress of our city. May they be mindful today and always of their responsibility as custodians of the well-being of our city, its future, its development, its people. Bless their efforts and perfect whatever defect these may have. Watch over us and keep us safe. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, ma'am. We have several speakers this morning. All have been apprised of the 5-minute rule. And the first is Cindy Knowlton with Alabama Extension Service.
Morning. Good morning, Commissioners. Cindy Knowlton, John Archer Building, Alabama Extension, 1070 Schillinger Road North. So I left a few flyers in front of you, which are our upcoming workshops. We have a lot going on. It's the spring, of course, and all of us at the office are wide open programming. But I did want to mostly come up and just share the update with you that we're moving forward with the commission and the architects and the roofers for the new roof of John Archer. So with that being said, we met last week and we are to vacate the building March 28th. And so because of the work being done, they don't want anyone on the premises and electricity and HVAC will be shut off. So with that being said, we have all, I don't want to say displaced, that's not the correct word, but we will be relocating. And so I want you all to know that we will remain open. Phones will be forwarded and we will have an on-site physical address at the Auburn Ornamental Station on McGregor Avenue. And so that's where our clients can come and bring plant samples, pick up soil boxes, and our website will actually show our temporary location there at the Ornamental Station. And like I said, our phones will be forwarded to that location. I also have others that will be at our Marine Research Extension and Research Station in Midtown. We have agents that will be working at a library, schools, at the VA. I will be at the Continental Commissary Kitchen. All of us will have a physical address, and we all have cell phones where we can be reached. So I just wanted to give you that update. They did inform us that the actual work, without giving the crews a break or weather delays, would take 24 to 30 days. So we're allowing 2 months, April, May, and I'll keep you all posted. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yes, Cindy, do you have a flyer or something, information that we can post or put out in our newsletters to let people know about your temporary relocation?
I do not, but I will get that to you.
That'd be
Thank
great.
you. That's a great idea.
Thank
And
you.
also, with that being said, April 14th, about a month away, we will still move forward with Discover Alabama Extension here at Government Plaza. So the agents will be here, and I'm working with Dina Pollard on getting all of that together. I do want all of you to know that when we leave on March 28th, we have got to take everything with us that we need for the next 2 months as far as copies, materials, educational tools, and we just have to carry them in our car or take them home because we will not be allowed to go back to the building unless we absolutely have to, and those arrangements will be made. But it's a lot of work. There's 17 of us just in my office, and then you have the 3 other agencies in the building as well. But we're going to make this happen, and we appreciate the updates to the building, and much needed. So thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Let us know how we can assist. Okay.
Thank you.
Our second
The
speaker.
these that you provided, can you email these to us? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Any other speakers?
Yes, ma'am. Our second speaker this morning is Matthew Frazier, and he would like to address the commission about the Big Creek Lake closure.
Good morning.
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 Matthew Fraser, 8468 Rister Court. I have a couple of questions for the commission about the closing of Big Creek Lake. I know it's not the district, but they do supply water to the county and the people in the county. The timber cutting on the lands, it leads to sediment, toxins going into our drinking water. Are we going to look into that for our drinking water in the county?
Would you repeat your question, please?
The timber cutting around Big Creek Lake that stopped the sediments now is not stopping the sediments and toxins from going into the water of our drinking supply.
Is anyone on staff familiar with this timber cutting? Matthew, do you know about this?
I think this better questions to be asking Malls and not the Mobile County
Yeah, I mean,
Commission.
you understand that we don't own the property immediately
Yes,
around the
ma'am, I
lake
do.
or the lake, but we may have some knowledge of it. I don't know.
Yes, ma'am, and that's what I'm asking.
Information we have, we can certainly share.
Yes, ma'am, and that's
And,
what I'm.
Matthew is right behind you.
So, and shortly, the Mars owns the property, so we don't have any control in that way. Silviculture, the harvesting of trees, is largely protected by the Alabama Constitution, and so we don't have the authority to regulate the silviculture, the tree cutting, as part of our development process.
So that is Moz is that's what they're handling right now. I mean, that's under their purview of responsibility and authority.
It would be under their purview of responsibility and authority. He could contact some state agencies, but as a county, it's protected from any of our development processes.
Right. We wish we could provide more information. We understand the frustrations out there, but we have no control. I mean, and that's,
Yes,
the Moz Board of Directors is appointed. There's 7 members appointed by members of the Mobile City Council.
Yes, ma'am.
And in fact, they have a meeting today. I think you might be aware of that.
Yes, ma'am.
But and maybe they can answer these questions.
Yes, ma'am, and
Unfortunately,
I will
we're
definitely-
limited
Yes,
with
ma'am.
what we can give you.
I was seeing that the lake is in the county. What is the county commission stand on helping make sure the county's water supply is managed properly and Moss is held accountable? because they do supply water to our county. That includes us.
So, we don't have an official position, but I think it's safe to say that all of us want the safest water supply that we have for all the residents, and that the responsibility that has been entrusted legally and otherwise to MAWS, to Mobile Area Water Service System, and all we can do really is just support them in their efforts to make sure that do what we can to make sure that that they're carrying out their responsibilities as MAWS.
Yes, ma'am, and that's what I'm asking. Could you look into that and make sure everything is appropriately managed?
So we
Since
don't
it's in the county.
we at the county level, we don't have any authority over how MAWS operates or how it handles its functions. That is their only regulatory body is at a state level. We don't have any regulatory authority over MAWS.
And
Okay.
in the Environmental Protection Agency, I'm guessing, Tina, would you like to add to that?
Good morning. So, Commission is totally correct. The MAWS will fall under the purview of the state agency, Alabama Department of Environmental Management, for example, for water quality related to providing drinking water.
All right.
I do know in past years, the county has purchased property surrounding the lake and made that available to MAWS, but it was for the intent of protecting the watershed so that from development. And so that's why the county has property located around there that has been, some of it vacated to MAWS, but it was for protection of the drinking water supply.
Yes, ma'am, and that's why I asked about the timber cutting previously. Is the county commissioners, do y'all have the power to take land by eminent domain as the city or MAWS has taken land around the lake by eminent domain? Can the county take it back by eminent domain?
I think, Jay, and you can answer this question. I think so. I think, yeah, we do have the power of eminent domain. Even when we are seeking right of way for road projects, for example.
Yeah, under
his question-
certain circumstances.
But
He's
we don't.
he's asking about eminent domain versus MAWS or the
Oh,
city of
for Ma-
Mobile. That's his
uh,
question.
To take property away from malls, is
Yeah.
that what you're asking?
Yes, sir.
No.
Jay, why don't,
I'm not sure, perhaps, probably, but, what purpose would the county have by doing so? To be honest, I don't know unconditionally the answer. I need to look it up.
it would have to have certain legal standing in order to do that,
You
correct?
have to have a purpose for taking property. And just any reason is not always the correct reason. So we would be condemned, in this hypothetical question you're asking, can the county commission condemn another public entity's property? I'm not sure.
I
I
think
would have
that
to
really
look it
gets
up.
off into the hypothetical, right?
But no, I was just saying
Yeah.
if MAWS has found that they're unfit to manage the water because
Whose determination?
there's thousands of other lakes that are not closed that supply water to different communities that are not permanently closed. The word permanent is an overstep. They're speaking for generations of people. One group of people are speaking for generations to come.
We understand. We understand your
ma'am.
concerns. We do. And this is a situation that, we're hearing from the community and we feel like we're kind of caught in the middle of this because we don't
we're
have any
reaching out
control
for your
over
help.
it.
We're reaching out for your help. I
Well,
promise you.
And by providing information is really what we can do.
Yes, ma'am.
The meeting today is where you can find answers to these questions.
Okay, yes, ma'am. That's why I
Okay.
came. Yes, ma'am. Well, that's why I started here. I mean, this is my first meeting. I just had to start somewhere. I just need answers. And everybody I've asked said, it's not me. It's not me. It's the city. It's the state. It's the federal. It's the county. I'm getting everybody's saying something different. I understand y'all are saying that it's not the county. I understand that.
When
What I'm
we-
asking for is help from the county commission.
Mr. Frazier, like I told you on the phone, Moss didn't ask our permission to close the lake. I found out the lake was closed probably about the same way you did. I woke up and went to social media, and there was a news report that the lake had been closed. They did not need our authority. They didn't ask for our permission. They didn't ask our opinion. And likewise, I doubt they're going to ask what we think or what our opinion is on reopening the lake, unfortunately, or I don't know if it's unfortunate or not. It's their lake. It's the probably more questions that you could ask the city council and the malls board that's appointed by the city council.
Yes, sir. And I'm definitely going to do that. I just, like I said, this was my first place to start is here, asking for y'all to direct me on which way to go, because I've been directed. Everybody says it's not them, it's not them, it's not them, but it's got to be somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Well,
water.
whoever's
laws
telling you
being
it's
broke.
whoever is telling you it's the county. You said a while ago that somebody has directed you to the county. They have
Yes, sir.
misinformed you.
No, and I understand. I've been misinformed a lot in the last month and a half. I promise you. I'm catching on to it.
Mr. Frazier, there is no question the Mobile County Commission has no statutory authority over Big Creek Lake or the land surrounding it. That is a fact of law.
I believe you, sir.
And it's not that they don't want to help, it's they have no authority to help. They can't promise you they're going to control what goes on there. They have zero authority to do that. Fortunately or unfortunately, as Commissioner Dewitt said, it's a function of the mall. Malls made the decision to do it for whatever reason they did, and this body of 3 elected officials is powerless legally to do anything to stop or modify what they do.
Yes, sir. And I'm
Also, the
coming to
last
them
comment
for
is on the
advice.
eminent domain. In almost every circumstance, eminent domain is a public taking of private property.
Yes, sir.
So I don't think this commission can condemn the lands around Big Creek Lake or the lake itself.
But as eminent domain, when they take it, does that mean it can be given to a private organization?
Generally
Well-
speaking, a public entity cannot give property to a private organization unless there is fair market value for the purchase or acquisition.
Yes, sir. So, but they took the land in eminent domain, and now they say it's private land.
It's land owned by Moss. Moss is not a private entity.
What entity are they?
It's a public entity created by state statute.
Okay, so it's a state entity.
It's a statutory created entity. Board members are appointed by the city council,
Yes,
not
sir.
by this
Okay.
board.
And thank you for clarifying.
Matthew, when Jay gets answers to those
I
questions,
will find the complete answer.
I'll call you. You know, I
Yes,
have
sir.
not
Thank you.
avoided you. I have not.
You have not.
We
at
have
all.
had numerous conversations, and
Yes, sir. And I do appreciate
any
you.
answers, any of the questions that you asked today. When we get legal advice from the attorney, because we're not. Well,
No,
one of
sir.
us
I
is an
wouldn't ask
attorney,
you to
but
be. Yes,
any,
sir. I just
any
come
of
to
your
you for advice.
questions, Jay has them, and when he finds out about this eminent domain and what the answers are, I'll be glad to call you. And
Yes, sir. I do appreciate it too. Was there any notice given before the announcement of the closing of the vacating of House Ferry Road?
absolutely.
Okay, I didn't hear it.
Anytime the county, and Jay or Kim can answer this probably better than me, but we don't, anytime we vacate a road, there's a public notice and a public hearing for the public to come down and hear, so that we can hear their input on it. So I think he's talking about, Kim, the vacation of House Ferry Road and absolutely, we put out public notices for vacating any roadways, correct?
And do we come here to vote on that? Or is it just y'all three that vote on that? And
The county commission votes on it. The public doesn't vote to vacate property.
But when it was vacated, it was never with the idea or the intention that the lake would be closed. It was 3 years ago, whenever that was.
20
We were
2022.
advised that for safety reasons that it needed to close because cars were, when they were pulling in, they were having to back out and there were safety issues and there was a need to create a turnaround and that Moz would accomplish that. And so that's why it was vacated. But we were never told that that the road would be closed eventually and the lake closed.
Yes, ma'am, and I believe you completely. I really do.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm just here to find direction on who is in charge and can reverse this decision.
And I think we pointed you in that direction
ma'am, you
because
have.
it is not with the Mobile County Commission.
Yes, ma'am, you have. I had
Okay.
to start here first, though.
All righty.
Thank you. For
Thank
y'all's time.
you.
We had two more speakers this morning. One was Rebecca Leonodal, and she had a letter she'd received, and I connected her with Timothy Wicker, and I don't see her in the room anymore, so I think he took care of her questions.
Okay.
I hate to interrupt you, but am I the only one who can't hear what anyone in the audience or at the
I'm having the
microphone
same
is saying?
problem.
Some issues with
Yeah,
Really?
I'm having the same problem.
Okay.
I can hear your voice, but I can't really make out what, I could hear nothing you just said, Sheree.
We've had this problem before.
We have.
Hello, check, mic check. I might just have to be a little bit closer and maybe talk a little louder to the mic.
Okay.
We did go through these before the meeting, but
We just, Marty, last thing you said, we didn't hear that either.
Yeah.
you can't hear anything.
It's a
that
little
I'm hearing.
garbled.
Okay, let me
Mhm.
see if I can make some adjustments on the back end. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to wait for the final speaker, or do we proceed? Do you want to proceed?
Sure.
I could hear Mr. Frazier when he was speaking, but when you guys are speaking or when they're speaking, it's muffled.
When you step up to the podium, if you would speak directly into the microphone when you're called, please.
Okay. Becky Connolly with Alabama Kidney Foundation is here to speak to the commission about the kidney walk.
People never have any problem hearing me. I don't know why that is, but they just don't. I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you all do for our community. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. My husband here. No. I was just looking at the sign, 1812. Y'all have been solving this community's issues since 1812. That's an amazing feat, and I can't get over all the scope of things that I hear just when I come here. It's amazing. Y'all are very intelligent. Alabama Kidney Foundation has been around as a state nonprofit. We are an independent state nonprofit. We are not supported by a national organization. Helping Alabamians that have kidney disease since 1975. 50 years. 50 years we've been doing that. And we have been growing and helping our community and helping the needs of those individuals that have to go to dialysis. It is a struggle for many of them for transportation and for daily living needs. And that's where we come in. We are a completely transparent organization. Our overhead is 7% administrative. We give what we get. And you all have been kind and generous to give to us and the citizens of Mobile County for a number of years, and I am incredibly grateful. But I can't express that as well as Rhonda Gullidge. She's on our board. I'm going to let her do it.
She's on our board too.
I have many hats. But yeah, like Becky said, we'd like to thank you for supporting the Alabama Kidney Foundation. The walk is March 22nd. We do have a Mobile County team. I'm the captain. And we would love for everybody to come out and enjoy the day with us. There's food, lots of food. There's walking, there's music, just a great time. And we just thank you for your support once again.
Thank you. Outstanding.
If y'all want to come, we would love to publicly thank you. If you could just let us know ahead of time, we'd put you on the mic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Thank you.
No one else has signed up to speak this morning.
Okay, Thank you. All right. Before you start, Mr. Kerr, would you do a mic check?
Check, check. Can you hear me now?
All right, we
It's
got
better.
you.
Okay.
10-4.
We just had to get Eddie back there. I saw Eddie go in the back, so you know when Eddie shows up, everything gets fixed.
We hope. Item 1, approve a list of claims.
So moved.
Second.
2, request of the City of Sims to rent 2 ES&S model DS200 voting machines in the amount of $250 per machine per day, and to provide 1 Express Votes machine at no charge for a total fee in the amount of $500 for their municipal elections to be held August 26th, and if a runoff election is required, an additional $500 for the same equipment for use on September 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
3, approve sponsorship agreement with Friends of the Pritchard Public Library in the amount of $1,000 from District 1 Commission funds for its Citizen of the Year banquet.
So moved.
Second.
4, approve amendment to the annual appropriation contract with the Explore Center doing business as Gulf Coast Explorium Science Center to increase the contract amount from $75,000 to $90,000. The additional funds in the amount of $15,000 from District 2 Education funds for its fall 2025 exhibit, Tiny Titans, Hatching the Past.
So moved.
Second.
5, approve sponsorship agreement with the Alabama Kidney Foundation in the total amount of $3,000 for its annual kidney walk and celebration with funds divided as follows.
So moved.
Second.
6, approve sponsorship agreement with Drug Education Council in the total amount of $1,500 for its annual fundraising luncheon with funds divided as follows.
So moved.
Second.
7, approve appropriation contract with Gulf Coast Ethnic Heritage Jazz Festival Productions in the amount of $10,000 from District 1 Education funds for its Marcus Johnson Summer Jazz Camp.
So moved.
Second.
8, approve sponsorship agreement with Sims Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $2,000 from District 2 Commission funds for the Sims Azalea Festival.
So moved.
Second.
9, approve application of Saturday Incorporated for a more than 30-day special retail alcohol license for Boondocks Beer Garden on Park Boulevard in Irvington.
So moved.
Second.
10, authorize advertising for bids for Michael Square Revenue Commission UPS upgrades.
So moved.
Second.
11, approve change order number 1 with Cornerstone Detention Products for 2023-24 detention intercom test and inspection at Metro Jail and Barracks, decreasing the contract amount by $30,000. The new contract will be in the total amount of $67,065.78.
So moved.
Second. I thought I had a question, but I don't.
12, reject all bids for Metro Jail temporary heat, ventilation, and air conditioning power distribution upgrades. Bid exceeded the available budget.
So moved.
Second.
13, approve group sales agreement with the Grand Hotel Golf Resort and Spa for accommodations, meeting space, and meals for a leadership forum at a cost not to exceed the amount of $16,500, and authorize the county commission president to execute the agreement and other such documents as necessary.
So moved.
Second.
14, approve professional services contract with Graham Corporation Communications to provide training and facilitation services for a leadership forum for a total fee in the amount of $4,500 plus reasonable travel-related expenses, and authorize the county commission president to execute the contract.
So moved.
Second.
15, approve submission of grant renewal application to the Corporation for National and Community Service for the AmeriCorps Senior Mobile County Senior Companion Program in the amount of $613,578 with funding as follows.
So moved.
Second.
16, approve submission of grant renewal application to the Corporation for National and Community Service for the continuation of the AmeriCorps Seniors Mobile County Foster Grandparent Program in the amount of $571,658 with funding as follows.
So moved.
Second.
17, approve sponsorship agreement with Mobile Area Interfaith Conference in the amount of $1,000 from District 1 Commission funds for its Tea Time with Team Chaplaincy Charity Golf Tournament.
So moved.
Second.
18, approve taking the following action on bids.
So moved.
Second.
19, approve contract with Turner Wilson Fence Company for Project Escatawba Hollow Park Project Line Fence for the installation of 2,500 linear feet of 6 feet tall residential grade chain link fence with barbed wire in the amount of $67,500.
So moved.
Second.
20, approve renewal of agreement with Orkin Pest Control in the amount of $608 for the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System for the Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second.
21, approve memorandum of understanding between Mobile County Sheriff's Office and the United States Secret Service to establish procedures and responsibilities to intercept and obstruct the Terrorism Act of 2001 and authorize the Commission President to sign all necessary documents.
So moved.
Second.
22, adopt resolution authorizing amendment to the subrecipient agreement with the Africatown Redevelopment Corporation and Restore Mobile to amend the scope of services provided by Africatown Redevelopment Corporation in compliance with updated guidance issued by United States Department of Treasury for the purpose of furthering the development of affordable housing through specific communities within Mobile County, and to authorize the Commission President to sign all documents necessary pending legal review.
So
I do
moved.
want to clarify that in addition to Africatown Redevelopment, there is a separate corporation, Restore Mobile, that this is also applicable to, and we will correct that language.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
23, approve sponsorship agreement with the National Organization of Black County Officials, a 501c3 organization dedicated to supporting community outreach initiatives and best practices in government in the amount of $10,000.
So moved.
Second.
24, authorize acquisition of property and acceptance of right-of-way deeds and/or easements from the below-listed property owners and projects as follows.
So moved.
Second.
25, approve right-of-way and/or easement agreement for Track 22 on Bass Drive in the amount of $500 for project Bass Drive, Brim Drive, and Striped Drive grade drain basin pave.
So moved.
Second.
26, approve right-of-way and/or easement agreement for Track 7 on Maddox Road in the amount of $250 for project Maddox Road grade drain basin pave.
So moved.
Second.
27, approve right-of-way and/or easement agreement for Track 29 on Ziegler Boulevard in the amount of $14,500 for project Ziegler Boulevard additional lanes.
So moved.
Second.
28, approve right-of-way and/or easement agreement for Track 13 on Wheatcroft Road North in the amount of $600 for project Wheatcroft Road North grade drain base and pave.
So moved.
Second.
29, approve preliminary plat only of Coxwell Crossing Unit 3. This is a private road subdivision, and the roads within the subdivision will not be accepted by Mobile County for maintenance.
So moved.
Second.
30, approve preliminary and final plat of Wawa subdivision and preliminary and final plat of Warden Place and preliminary and final plat of GPS Woods and preliminary and final plat of Resub Russ Stork.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioners, I'm going to offer to combine items 31, 32, and 33 as follows. Adopt resolutions to accept proposal from Regions Bank for purchase and order authorizing the issuance of and the order calling for redemption of $19 million in pay-as-you-go road, bridge, and Drainage Facilities, Series 2022C.
So moved.
Second.
And Commissioners will do the same for items 34, 35, and 36. Adopt resolutions to accept proposal from Regions Bank for purchase and order authorizing the issuance of and order calling for redemption on $30 million in pay-as-you-go road, bridge, and drainage facility bonds, Series 2024A.
So moved.
Second.
37, approve reimbursable agreement for relocation of utility facilities on public right-of-way with Alabama Power Company for project Natchez Trace Road Grade Drain Basin pave. The estimated cost to Mobile County will be in the amount of $139,796.
So moved.
Second.
38, approve Adopt a Mile program application from Chief Darby Weaver of the Choctaw Nation of Indians for the adoption of a segment of Coy Smith Highway from Patillo Road eastward to Shepherd House Road.
So moved.
Second.
39, authorize consenting to the assignment of construction contracts with H.O. Weaver and Sons relating to Mobile County improvement projects to APAC, Alabama, as a result of the sale of purchase of certain assets pending legal review for projects as follows.
So moved.
Second.
40, commission announcements and/or comments.
Well, I would just like to say congratulations to our fellow commissioner, Commissioner Dewitt, for a wonderful opening yesterday at Bayfront Park. That was quite an event. I don't know how many people overall ended up, but it was, I think, certainly indicative of how people feel about outdoor recreation and access to the water. And it was just beautiful, just beautiful. So I know that it's been a couple of years in the making, and it's taken a lot of time and effort, and our staff has certainly been on top of it. They have really brought it to fruition, but it was a team effort, and I just wanted to say congratulations and great job.
Well, thank you.
Wait, wait, you can't say anything.
And she does.
So we were walking on the beach,
Me and Mysteria holding hands
And
walking
he's-
on the beach.
and he says, "We turned this over." I said, "Who is we?" He said, "I actually did it." So he actually did some real work on the
Vance, will
project.
you verify that was I there physically working for 3 days?
He put the sand out there on that beach.
Yes, ma'am. He worked. At the
Don't
park.
sit there and smile. Answer the question. Thank you, and Cherie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm estimating over 2,000 people came through the gates yesterday. We had over 700 vehicles come through the gate, not including people who were shuttled from our 2 shuttle sites. I'll say this again, that park belongs, we manage that park. It doesn't belong to the county. It belongs to the people of Mobile County, particularly the people of Code End, Balabatry, Dauphin Island, South Mobile County, but it belongs to everybody in Mobile County. And Tina and her team, again, I praised them yesterday. They've done a fantastic job managing all of these park projects, not just Bayfront, Escataba, Chickasaw Park. I was there for the grand opening of it. They're beautiful parks, and you know, I think that park, we've owned that park for 100. I don't know, I hate to get off in the weeds, but we've owned that park for 100 years, and over 100 years, and so I'm proud of what it turned out to be. I'd venture to say it's probably the nicest park or facility of its kind in South Mobile County. I mean, not aside from your projects, because they're beautiful too, but there's nothing else in South Mobile County, at Dauphin Island, Balabatry. So I'm just proud to have been here and been able to be a part of providing the people in that community with such a beautiful park, and it is a beautiful park. And Tina, thank you guys again. It's fantastic. Can't thank you enough. I said yesterday, you know, we come up with these all of these sometimes hair scheme ideas and what we want. And the people sitting here in this audience, a majority of them are some of the people here that make those things happen. And you guys really overshot what my expectations for Bayfront Park were yesterday. So thank y'all. And I also have a question for Kim, real quick, if you don't mind. Oh, Lumpkin Road.
Yes, sir.
Where are we at? But let me tell you why I'm asking this question. I could have asked you this in my office, but I'd rather ask it publicly. I understand that there's an additional, without getting too far off track, there's been an additional 700 acres of property that's been sold to a developer, a residential developer in that area. I'm asking this question because I have brought this up in the past, and I'm going to continue to bring it up and I've talked to Jay about our options. We have two schools out there. Causey Middle School is the highest enrolled middle school in the state of Alabama. Okay. We have a high school that's the second highest enrolled school in the state of Alabama. Second highest enrolled high school in Alabama. Everywhere that this property is being sold is in an area that's probably gone from a fire department. It's a volunteer fire department. And I'm not trying to stop anybody from selling their property or using their property. Understand that. But we have to think about our schools, our kids' education, and we have to think about public safety. Seven Hills Fire Department has probably gone from 3,000 or 4,000 residents that they're responsible for protecting to over 7,000 or 8,000 residents that and they're a volunteer fire department. And that's not counting, I'm not sure, I know that there's some jurisdictional issues with the city of Mobile where they have pulled back out of a lot of their jurisdiction, and I believe in the next year they'll be completely pulled. I think they have 1 mile left, and they'll be completely out of jurisdiction when it comes to fire and police protection. So that leaves the responsibility of public safety to a volunteer fire department and the sheriff's office. And of course, we know that when you sell that 700 acres of land, I mean, if you do the math times 3, I mean, you figure up how many houses that is. And these subdivisions are usually being sold to people who have young children who are going to be going to these schools. So I'm just curious. I guess my main question is Lumpkin Road. How close are, because everybody knows the plan is there's going to be a new high school and a middle school. I'm assuming, just listening to the school board, I think it's up in the air what the plan is. I know there's 2 new schools, or at least 1 new school going on that road. I'm curious as to where we're at. How soon could we have Lumpkin Road? I'm asking about the acquisition of the right-of-way and the utilities before we could pave that road, so that the school system they can't give me a direct answer on when they could build the schools until we can say when we can pave the road. And I think that's a big issue. I think before we start building houses on 700 acres of land, we got to figure out where all these kids are going to go to school. I mean, our kids' education and public safety is important to me. So I just was curious. I hadn't seen any. I think we were pretty close to that, acquiring the right of way. So maybe.
Yes, sir. We are getting close to being done on the right of way acquisition. As far as the utilities, I don't have a new update on that. Usually the utilities don't want to get too vested in it before right of way acquisition is complete, because if right of way changes during acquisition, which it does from time to time, then the utilities have to go back and redo everything that they plan to do. So I would assume there is going to be a utility period. There's always utility issues when we intersect Airport Boulevard, and there are some existing utilities along the existing dirt road. I hate to give you a time without knowing exactly what's going on with those utilities, but I expect right of way to hopefully wrap up in the next couple months.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to start on utilities, and I would say maybe get it to construction sometime next year.
Okay.
I can give you something better than that if you'll give me a little
I hate
time.
to put you on the spot. I
Uh,
know that's a difficult question to ask. I mean, when is a road, when are we gonna, because I know there's a lot of factors. Mainly, I wanted that to be known that I'm concerned. I have been concerned for a number of years, particularly with our schools in that area, but I just wanted to ask and see if we could come. Are we, the design, I assume we're working on the design already, and so,
We're pretty much complete with the design. We like to be at least 90% done with right-of-way, with design before we start right-of-way acquisition. So we're really close. It's really just working the way through right-of-way acquisition.
all right, thank you, Kim.
Forty, commission announcements and/or comments. Excuse me. 41, approve request for motion to adjourn until March 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Have a great week.